Shalom Akim, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Kwakadash, upon salutations to the elders and apostles of greatness doing rule well, and the Akim preaching the words of the Lord, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, sincerity and truth throughout the four corners of the earth. This is your brother Menashe DC Camp, short lesson to edify the hopeful elect. Yep. Yeah, these prophecies are just the kicking butt, man. The prophecies is active, it's heating up, all right? So you just have to make sure that you're paying close attention, all right? So let me just get this precept real quick. It's really necessary. It's going to be from the book of Second Ezra. All right, so Second Ezra chapter 9, verse 1, it says, He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Alright, so the Lord is allowing all this drama to pop off. Alright, so expect more chaos in Babylon. Alright, a lot of people don't want to deal with it, but it is what we're gonna deal with, man. As a man of the Lord, you have to speak about it according to the scriptures, according to the prophecies of the Lord Yahweh Shai. Yeah, so it's beautiful, man. It's very beautiful that these things are taking place because we're getting closer to the kingdom of heaven. All right, we're getting closer to our salvation. All right, we're getting closer to the returning of our Lord Yahweh Shai. Yeah, so and then verse 3, 2nd Ezra chapter 9, it says, Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, from the beginning. All right, so the Lord by Shemashah is going to let this confrontations take place. All right, so people don't have any choice but to play their part. Okay, so this is what the Lord Yahushua said in Luke chapter 12, verse 49. It says, I am come to send fire on the earth, and what will I if it already be kindled? Alright, I am come to send fire on the earth, and what will I if it already be kindled? Yeah, so this acts of violence and confrontations and all this hatred going back and forth and destruction of property, it's just a sign of the time, a sign that Esau's kingdom is coming to an end. Alright, so it's beautiful, man. Now I hear about the White House being on lockdown. Different states are talking about, using the National Guard as as a support for the cops. Yeah, so it's gonna be crazy. That's what happens, man. These cops stir up, the hornet's nest, and then the National Guards get called, to clean it up. So it's basically, it's basically, always say, the young boy go, crying to his bigger brother for help. That's exactly what it is, man, because the governors don't really care about police brutality, because they're all part of the problem anyway. But nonetheless, they're playing their role. America has to be destroyed. That's why these governors and mayors are in certain places to make life difficult for people, making backdoor deals, making life, unbearable for people, making people, suffer unnecessarily. Destroying families, taking properties and all that. Yeah, so it's just it's just fit to see these things take place, man. Then you see CNN getting that one of their buildings is in the one in Atlanta, getting damaged and all that. So it's just a sign of the times, He so likes to play his cards in different ways to stir up trouble so he could benefit from it. But this time around, it's not going to work because his rulership is coming to an end. So he has to hurry up and stir up the people. All right. And when you read, furthermore in Luke, it says, Luke chapter 12, verse 50 says, "But I have a baptism to be baptized with, and how am I straitened till it be accomplished?" Yep, and that's exactly what we're going through. The elect are going through that baptism. We're going through this trial. We're going through this tribulation, all right, of being persecuted for righteousness. Being persecuted for the name of the Lord Yahweh Shai. All right, and then it says, "And how am I straitened till it be accomplished?" Meaning you have a guideline. You have to stick with the plan. We have the policy, which is the Holy Scriptures, that you stick with to accomplish certain goals. Meaning you have to understand this prophecy and you have to share it with the people. And then it says in verse 51, "Suppose ye that I am come to give peace on the earth. I tell ye nay, but rather division." And that's exactly what you see. Division. The police are not really a representation of the people. They are a representation of the power of the elites. The people that, create the money out of thin air, that create the weapons and all that stuff, that tell the governors and the mayors what to do and who to sign deals with and all that stuff. They're the same people, man. They elect your presidents and your senators and congressmen to office and kick them out of office. Those are the same people, So that's why there's so much trouble, because the will of the elites is against the will of the people, and the will of the people is against the elite. And the politicians is basically there like a handkerchief, for the elites to wipe their nose with. And the people think, they're just there for them. No. All they do give to the people is just go away money, shoot. Crumbs here and there. They mislead the people down the path, creating all unjust legislation. So this is Isaiah chapter 10, verse 1. All right. So this is what Scripture says. It says, "Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed." All right. Verse 2, "To turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless." And that's the root cause of all this, blue that Esau has caused upon the face of the earth. His greed, his earnest desire to go against the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Lord Yahweh Shai. All right, so it's just a symbol of Esau going down, man. It's beautiful. You see how the Lord let things happen, either by a false flag or by so-called natural events. It has to happen. All right. So this protest, is beautiful that's taking place. It means that you're getting closer and closer and closer and closer to the end of Esau's rulership, the end of the so-called white man. All right. You don't have to worry about any more so-called Jewish lobby pulling the strings anymore, because they know that the Lord Yahweh Shai is pulling the plug on their power, is pulling the plug on their authority. That's why they're gonna, do everything they can, shut down the internet, blackmail and blacklist brothers. But at the end of the day, we have the victory over them. All right, so you just gotta pray that you don't get sandwiched in between the arguments, between the sheeple, all right, the 2/3, and and the so-called, plantation staff members. All right. So I'm going to get to another precept. It's going to be from, let me get this real quick. It's going to be from the book of Matthew, chapter 24. All right. So it says, all right, so that's what you got to watch out for this time. Okay, so this is the book of Matthew, chapter 24. Let me see. Let me start from verse 21. All right, Matthew chapter 24, verse 21. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this. So this is just the appetizer. This is just the icing of the cake. You see all the so-called governors and mayors and all these so-called journalists talking trash about Trump and Trump talking trash about them. So it's basically one WWE episode, man. You know, Hulk Hogan versus Macho Man, or versus Iron Sheik, the Iron Sheik, versus the Undertaker. That's all it is, man. It's all one big show. All right, they're pretending to go against each other, but they're on the same team. You know, the same elite at the same table, are the ones pulling the strings. All right. So this Luke chapter, it's like this Matthew chapter 24, verse 21. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. So these days of destruction that we're basically seeing, riots and all that stuff, the Lord Shemashah is going to speed it up, so the elect don't have to endure all this nonsense, for any longer, man. Because Babylon's judgment is way overdue. All right. So here's another precept. So this is Revelation chapter 18, verse 4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High Yahweh hath remembered her iniquity. All right, and that's exactly what we have to keep in mind. You know, the time of America is coming to an end. The time of Esau's rulership is coming to an end. All right, the so-called, not the so-called not so Secret Service, they're on the way out. You know, the FBI is on the way out. DEA, CIA, MI5, Mossad, all these so-called, tools of the elites, all these governors of the heathen, governments of the heathens, their so-called royalties, they're all on the way out. They're on the way out, man. It's time for new rulership upon the face of the earth. So this is just, the what you call it, the bed pangs. All right, let me get another preset for that. All right, so this is gonna be from the book of Isaiah chapter 13. I'm gonna read verse 8. All right, so this is you know what? I'm gonna read verse 6. Isaiah chapter 13, verse 6. How ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand. All right, how ye. Okay, the prophets of the Lord. You gotta prophesy. You gotta speak. Prophesy. You gotta, speak that word with boldness. Speak, just like the Lord Yahweh spoke. Speak aloud, cry aloud, spare not. Lift up your voice like a trumpet. Right, Isaiah chapter 13, verse 6. How ye, for the day of the Lord Yahweh is at hand. It shall come destruction from the Almighty. So this destruction is coming upon the earth, man. All right. So very soon you're gonna start hearing about protests in Saudi Arabia, protests in Iran, protests in Nigeria, protests in England, Australia, Saudi Arabia, protests in Lebanon, Greece, Austria, Finland, Sweden. All right. Then verse 7 says, therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt. All those cups, all geared up, it's all for nothing, man. They're gonna fold like a paper bag. All right. And then it says in verse 8, and they shall be afraid, pangs and sorrow shall take hold of them. They shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth. They shall be amazed one at another. Their faces shall be as flames. All right. So it's getting hot. It's getting hot. Yeah, these folks are gonna get tested, man. See cops, pushing people, knocking out people, attacking people, and see the people attacking back. They're not backing down. They're yelling, burning down and looting. So it's gonna come to that, man. It's gonna get heated up. And the agent provocateurs, man, they've done a good job so far, man. So you gotta give it up, man. You gotta give credit to them, for doing a perfect job, or for stirring up this pot. And that's exactly what we need, man. So all those agents in police departments and FBI, they like to, infiltrate and stir things up. This is the perfect time, to kick it up a notch, to cause more confusion, cause more tension, so they could bring about the, the so-called, plans, and then you're gonna know, who's been preaching the truth according to the scriptures. All right, so it's gonna be great, man. It's gonna be great. And verse 9 says, behold, the day of the Lord cometh, cruel both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it. Okay, so that's America's future, man. Destruction. So that's the point that I don't want to go too long into this. It's just simple. All right, pray Lord that Bashima Shai prepares you to go through these difficult times. All right, that you don't burn out, man. You don't get stressed out, because it's really necessary. You keep yourself grounded in the faith. Because this is really necessary, man. The Lord didn't say the walk to the kingdom is going to be sweet and juicy and exciting, but it's exciting nonetheless. But you understand, it's going to be terrible. The blood is not really spilling on the street like it needs to be, but it's going to get there. So you just got to wait patiently. So that's the point that I pray the Lord about Shema Shabbat Shem Kakadai continue to bless you and upgrade your faith. Shalom.